So before we get into this game, guys, let me paint a picture for you. Having a rough few days of solo queue, been losing a lot of games, unfortunately. We did level 1 invade this game, and we lost. I died. The enemy bot lane actually 2v1 lane swapped against me. They camped me the entire game. They stopped me from proxying. I couldn't get any items. My team started flaming me. They didn't believe in me. But somehow, in the hardest game of solo queue I've played this entire year, we won. And this is that journey. Alright guys, so getting right into it, you see we are going here top for the level 1 invade. This is after the Singe buffs. I am going, I think, yeah, so this is what I usually do. I just go up to ward this tri-bush, and somehow they figured that I was going to invade. I think it's because this game I was running Predator just to see, like, how it felt, and then they ended up getting my ghost. Unfortunately, the Viego gets my entire stack passive, runs through his team, and then poisons my team as well. But I figured that they're gonna keep fighting because my team walks around for more, so I teleported to mid here, and then we ended up going for a fight. Okay, running through with poison here, just trying to make sure I DPS. They chase back through, or they chase Ornn, and then they kill Ornn, and then I think yeah, so we start fighting Callista and Rakan over here. And then I think, yeah, so she flashes on my Graves, and then I think we just run her down. Yeah, we just run her down. Now here's, so already this game's a little bit hard for me because I went a death before the minions even spawned, and I blew both my summoners. And then now, you know, they're gonna have to send their support top to hold the lane for Ornn is what I thought. I thought that he was holding lane for Ornn. Turns out that is in fact not the case, because what they're actually doing here is they are lane swapping me. That's right, yeah. They lane swapped on me in solo queue in the year 2022. Absolute dirty move. That by the way, when you fling Rakan out of that, that's supposed to actually cancel the knockup, but it didn't there for some reason. If it canceled the knockup, it could have actually pushed the wave of the tower. But I thought he was holding it for Ornn, but he's not. He's holding it for Callista because they're lane swapping. So originally, there's Ornn down in bot lane. So the purpose of the lane swap is just to get me behind, basically. And then they're gonna try and tower dive me later because the wave is frozen on me, and I can't really do much about it. And I can't get an easy recall off because I used a potion chart, or I can't get an easy recall off because the lane's frozen. But I'm forced to because there's like just nothing I can do. If I look for a proxy, I don't know where their jungler is. If I, there's a good chance that I die because it's a cannon wave and I'm level 1. I don't really have any HP or mana left, so I just kind of have to recall and let them push into my tower slowly. But yeah, the purpose of a lane swap back in the old days was basically that the enemy top lane and the enemy jungler were usually considered lower econ, and then the bot lane would swap to just like take priority over the map and then take the tower easily. And keep the top and jungler low econ while taking things like Rift Herald and taking things like jungle camps and stuff like that. But Riot fixed that because it was a horrible experience for the top laners and the junglers to have to duo jungle, which was really stupid for the first few waves, and then just try and like get EXP. Like, it was really, really unfun. Back then when lane swap meta was a thing. This was like in season, I think like 5 and 6. No, it was more of a season 6 thing, I think. But it was really unfun. As you can see, it's like I just don't get to play the game here as they slow push the wave into me. I'm thinking missing on the Rakan here, but the way that they stopped it was basically they made it so that top and jungle became high econ roles, where they just have a lot more gold and income and things like that. And then they also made it so that the bot lane towers don't have tower protection for the first 5 minutes. They're gonna tower dive me here. There's really like such a low chance that I live here because they just start with Rakan taking the tower, and then he gets out, and then Callista just, yeah, there's not much I can do here. It's to death. That it's kind of how it goes, unfortunately. But fortunately, my team does tower dive the Ornn and get away with it, so that's really good. And that is awesome. So a bit of a saving grace here. So the way that they stopped the tower dives, or sorry, the 2v1s, is that they made it so that the bot lane towers do not have any protection for the first 5 minutes of the game, but the top lane towers do have tower protection for the first 5 minutes of the game. Tower protection, if you don't know, for top tier 1 and mid tier 1 towers, for those of you who don't play solo lanes, it is a thing. It is a buff the towers get before 5 minutes that makes it so that the towers take a lot less damage from champions. Like, a lot less damage from champions. My Senna asked if he wants me to lane with him here, but I changed my mind. I was like, maybe I want him to come, maybe I don't. And the reason why is I'm pretty sure they're swapping back here, and they did swap back here. I guess Lilia is here too to hold the wave, so I can't even proxy, unfortunately. It's one of those games, right? As you can see, my bot lane, after they dove Ornn, they got 2 tower plates, and even though their bot lane dove me, they couldn't get any tower plates. Even that stacked huge minion wave couldn't get tower plates. The minions deal, I think, full damage. I'm not sure. I don't think the minions do. Either. I'm not sure exactly how the buff works, but the big thing is, like, it's really hard to get tower plates in top lane before 5 minutes. You have to be like absolutely stomping your lane to get tower plates before 5 minutes. So here, Ornn is just trying to stop my proxy. Unfortunately, I thought I could run past with Ghost and then get the proxy off, but I ended up taking too much damage and I just died. A bit of an int by me. You know, a little unfortunate. Lilia was there too, so there's probably no chance that I live. And even if she doesn't kill me, I probably just die to the minion wave here. So I managed to freeze it on myself here. I thought that I could go for the proxy, but I just couldn't. There was a bug with tower shots where they weren't ramping up and they were just dealing not enough damage, and then they actually fixed that. And so now like in the middle of the day, the tower shots started dealing regular damage again. I noticed that they took tower shots bottom, and I'm running bottom because I can't go top. I physically can't go top because they're just gonna freeze on me and gank me, which is what he's done. He's frozen. So my team actually gets a gank bottom. They kill Callista. As I'm predatoring it, unfortunately, so I don't really get any assists here. But that being said, I believe that I just helped push, and I think we got Dragon here. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, because the Ornn was freezing the lane on me, like there's nothing I can do. The moment that I walk up, he has kill pressure on me, or Lilia shows up and she just kills me. Right? There's just like not a whole ton that can be done for me, and so I have to wait for him to unfreeze. And I understand like why my team's getting mad here, but the thing is it's better for me as a top laner when this far behind to do that than to stay top and just die to the Ornn again. Because if the Ornn gets kills when he's behind, then the whole point of them 2v1ing him and getting a kill was like worthless, right? So yeah, it sucks that I have to be forced to like do this, and it sucks that they have to like get their EXP leached, but there's just what can I do, you know? It takes like it takes a lot of mental fortitude to play top lane, especially right now when the meta is just so bot lane heavy. It's so bot and jungle heavy, especially right now. A lot of top laners are complaining about this, but it feels like right now whichever bot lane wins the lane just kind of wins the game. They gank my teammates there, unfortunately. This is a very high kill game, by the way. A very, very high impact game, or high pressure game. Which is fun, very fast paced. Yeah, I'm 25 CS when Ornn is like 50, which is pretty bad. And then their bot lane was ahead too because they 2v1 me. It's just a rough spot to be in, right? Normally the way that you break lane freeze is singed is you look for the proxy, but like if you can't find the proxy, then there's not a whole lot that you can do. You have to be creative and try and unfreeze through map pressure, and that's like a last resort, which is what this is. But like you know you got to do it, right? Predator's coming back up, so I see bottom is pushing, and I'm looking for a gank here, seeing what we can do. Could not find one, so we're gonna walk back towards mid. The Viego is also hard pushing. I'm 31 CS. Ornn is, I thought he was 50. He's actually 40 CS, and the Viego is 51. Cassio's laning versus him temporarily for now. I pinged missing. Viego is walking up. And you know, for that roam, I did miss a bit more CS, so it's like again, this is one of those games where it feels like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. Right here, predatoring in because my team's fighting shit. It's a good ult on the Cassio. Tried to ground the Viego. Unfortunately, I couldn't ground him out taking the Spirit, which sucks. You can ground him from ulting, but you can't actually stop him from taking the Spirit. Okay, we tried to catch the Viego here, but he ults over the wall and then flashes out. So very unfortunate that we just kind of straight up lose that fight. But that being said, Senna actually snipes the Lilia there, or she roamed up and sniped her, which is good. But sadly, that means that my Garen is 2v1 right now, which does suck a bit. No, again, it's a wave freeze. Yeah, and Garen gets tower dove 2v1. It's a rough, but yeah, again, it gets a freeze, so I can't even proxy that quickly, which is unfortunate because now Lilia's respawn, which threatens the proxy, right? It threatens the integrity of the proxy, the safety of it. So best choice is just to recall here. Unfortunately, normally I'd go for that second wave, but I don't know where Lilia is on respawn, and I didn't get the wave into the tower fast enough, so gotta deal with it. This patch, by the way, guys, 12-15 with the Singe buffs. I have been slamming Swifty Boots basically at almost every game. Some games you go Tabby, and some games you go Mercs, obviously. Maybe even some games you might go Sorcerers, but 90 or like maybe 80 to 90% of games I've just been going thank you. I've just been going Swifties because the passive buff makes celerity stronger, the passive buff makes Swifties stronger, or I should say the Swifties makes the passive buff even stronger because the flat movement speed of Swifties makes your percentage movement speed on your everything else like way stronger, right? Especially your passive, which is awesome. Flat movement speed makes celerity faster, flat movement speed makes passive faster, passive being faster makes celerity better. It's just, it's like a feedback loop, and it's really, really good right now. Swifties are kind of strong. Right there waiting for Ornn to use his W on me. Unfortunately, I get hit by the Q knock up there, which does suck a bit. And he knows he's stronger than me right now, so he's going to chase me and try and stop the proxy. There's not much I can do here besides try and unfreeze it, or just roam or something. Like, it's just a rough spot to be in with Ornn being that far ahead of me. And then, it's not even that Ornn is ahead of me, it's the fact that I'm so far behind. It's 11 minutes in the game, and I have components, you know? Which is normal, like, you should have components, but I have, like, the base level components. Normally at this point you have a blasting one. So I'm TPing bottom again because I can't really do anything to help my team here. TP bot, and then I'm running down the what's her face here, the Lilia. Unfortunately, I almost catch her, but my fling was on cooldown, and I didn't realize how low it was to coming off because I was just like, at this point, you know, pretty mentally frustrated and just like not playing at 100%. And that's another skill that, by the way, you should have try and develop as a top laner is just, you gotta be cool like ice. In this game, I was not super cool. I was a little frustrated, and so I didn't see that my fling was coming back up. I could have killed her there. But as you can see, the passive on Singed, man, that passive does some work now. You can actually keep up with the Lilia. Whereas before, you'd have to have like level 3 ult and like Ghost and Rylai's to keep up with Lilia. I can kind of just run with her now, which is good, you know, because Singed the champion is all about being fast. So you kind of should be fast, right? That's how the character is. That's the character fantasy. You should be fast. Speed is important. Alright, so we are just clearing this wave here. I bought the Giant Spelt part of, I bought the Giant Spelt instead of saving for a Blasting one, because I'm just too far behind and I have to either be tanky or not spend my gold and wait for a Blasting one. Blasting one I do like to have, but if the enemy team is getting kind of bursty, then it actually is better to buy Giant Spelt first, if you just want to try and survive a bit. And in this situation, I'm far enough behind where the Giant Spell probably would help a little bit. Sadly, I walk right into another Lilia gank as I look to push the wave, and I am just dead. So, not only have they 2v1'd me, not only have they lane swapped on me, they've 2v1'd me, they've camped me, they've ganked me, they've stopped my proxy, they're camping me again. They've frozen on me. It's one of those games. It's definitely one of those games. And I'm pretty sure shortly after here is where my team starts to flame me as well, which is not very cool, but hey, you know, what can you do? It's one of those games. I didn't type anything back to him. I didn't ping. I think the only thing I typed this game was I didn't have mana or something like that. And that's literally it. Like, I didn't say anything, I didn't spam ping anyone. Like, I know up until this point the game is basically my fault, like the state of the game, because my bot lane's getting kills, which is Garen Senna. My mid lane's getting kills, and my jungler is getting kills as well. Like, the thing is, the enemy team's getting kills too, but like they're making the game pretty even, despite me being like basically out of the game for now. So I'm not mad at my team here, right? Like this game state's essentially my fault. He's trying to bait my engage there, and he got it. And was half my HP to the early game Ornn damage. Ah, it's so brutal. It's so brutal, man. That's okay though. Just gonna go keep trying to push, trying to make sure that I dodge the Q. The Q dodge is really important because he can Q into E. So Q is dodged there, so I try and walk up for a little bit. Uses W. We'll fling him as the cooldown comes down. He's looking to chase me here, but we're just gonna pop ult, I believe, here. Yep. No, not yet. Okay, here when he walks after me, I pop the ult just to make sure that I can get away here. Okay, so here he is just trying to cut me off of the proxy. And Viego shows up. Oh my, Viego is here. And I'm trying to bait his E. I'm trying to bait his E so I can dodge it and maybe live, but I just couldn't. They're just... God, this game was... even just watching it now, like... Even just watching it now, it's actually so tilting. I'm sure those of you who play top lane like find it to be so tilting. Because like this is the classic top lane experience, right? You just get shafted while your team plays 4v4 or in some cases 4v5, right? That's just the classic top lane. They said that they wanted to like fix it for next season. They said that they wanted to fix it for next season, and that they're having some ideas. The only problem that I hear there is they said next season instead of now. But it is what it is, right? So here, just trying to make sure that the Herald doesn't get another charge. Going to be walking up and farming the wave. I'm using Predator, and I know that Ornn is still in the area, but he's probably recalling here is my assumption because he was low on mana and HP for the most part. So just coding the wave. Finally got to farm a little bit. That's the first 2 full waves I've farmed, I think, the entire game. Here at 15 minutes. Enemy Lilia getting quite strong, very scary. And here comes the Graves with the flame. Here it comes. That's how it goes. The Graves flames me like a man who has never played top lane. You know, people don't understand like the situation that we're being put in sometimes as top lane. Simultaneously, the backbone of the team and the punching bag. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. So here I decide to go from the proxy wave. I just have to kind of risk it. Like I don't know where their team is, but the gold is too valuable not to have. Oh, yeah, he says, I can't believe I watched a singed OTP uses auto instead of running with someone to E them when it's up in 1 second. And I'm just like, yeah, you know what, looking at the replay, sure, cool, I could have, but I was just like so frustrated at the game state. And bear in mind, yeah, I could have played it better, but it is what it is. I said, how do you know it's up in 1 second? How do you know, Graves? How do you know? And to be fair, it was, but I digress. The proper response here is just not type anything, right? That is the proper response, but whatever. Whatever. Here the Ornn is being very aggro. He ease into me, and so then his dash is down. He's gonna look for a run to the wall over there to the right to look for a flash over the bottom trying to escape. That's his goal right here. So he goes to E, fling him out of the E because my E cooldown is lower than his dash. I think his is like 12 and mine is 10. So we just run him down here. He almost gets the death to Calista, or not Calista, to Senna. And then the Graves is spamming FF. But we got a shutdown, or we got a kill on Ornn, so I'm in the game now after 17 minutes, which is good. And I see that they are doing some shenanigans. Oh, she got that ult off, that would have been huge. They're doing some shenanigans in our jungle here. It's me, Garen, and Cassio versus 4. But Cassio's pretty big here, and they kill Rakan. So I cut off the Calista. Unfortunately, I couldn't fling her into my Cassio there. I messed it up a little bit because I thought she was gonna jump, but then she stayed still because of the grounding. So brain fart a little bit. Running away from Lilia there. I'm just so low HP and mana, like I can't really do much. Cassio's fighting. Graves is here. W on Viego. Couldn't really stop, unfortunately. Now Cassio is gonna flame me here too, but like so basically I can't do much there. I'm such low HP and mana. Senna gets a snipe on the Viego, which is super good, super good. Senna popped off really hard this game, by the way. Big part of the positivity of this game. Yeah, I said I don't have mana, and then he says I don't care, just distract them so that I can kill them. See, like my thing is, I die so quickly there. The only thing that would have changed is they get 2 kills instead of 1. You know what I mean? So either way, TPing back in. I got the Lilia lockdown. Get the kill. A big fatty 950 gold shutdown. You love to see it. She overextended for the blue. The Lilia is super fed, and she would have probably gotten it and gotten out. Here's Graves slimming me again. Love to see it. And she probably would have gotten out, but I was there to catch. So use the TP, use the Predator. Predator feeling kind of okay. I think with Predator right now, and I talked about this a bit on stream. I think Predator, it's still kind of nerfed, but it's a bit more effective now because you can drift through your team as you're approaching a fight and get extra movement speed. So even though it's slower early game, like you can kind of use it a little bit like the old Predator. It's not as good as the old Predator. Well, it's actually better in the late game now. But early game, it is a bit weaker. It's just like, right now, top lane, you're kind of just playing a scaling role anyways. I feel like some games you can get away with Predator. Maybe I'm wrong, but it definitely feels better now than it did last patch, or even the patch before then, whenever they nerfed it, right? So, very cool, very cool, very cool. Something to experiment with, see if you guys like it. I think it's totally playable if you're a Predator enjoyer. I like Predator and Spellbook personally. Those have always been my 2 favorite keystones for Singed ever since Runes were forged. Actually, Airy for a bit, but then they made Airy Singed not viable by nerfing the Airy so much in terms of damage. Airy used to be a good damage keystone, by the way, for Singed. It used to be like the damage keystone. Also a big Aftershock fan. But then they nerfed the damage, unfortunately, and then Airy Singe became less of a thing. They did buff Scorch, but the thing with Scorch is, why would I go Scorch when most games are going to like 25-30 minutes and I could just go Gathering Storm instead, right? Although it is something to experiment with. It could be useful to try it out. The thing with getting early pressure on Singe, like imagine you go like Grasp the Undying with Scorch, right? The whole idea is that you're just putting out a bunch of early game damage so that you have more pressure in lane and you're able to farm more. That's the whole idea behind things like Grasp and things like Scorch and Airy and stuff like that. Is just giving yourself a lot of early game pressure to make yourself be able to farm for the late game. The issue you run into is that those keystones are not very good late game. Like Grasp is fantastic, I think, for early game. It's really good for early game versus melee. Here they are engaging my Cassio. She actually gets a solid freeze on Callista, and then they kill her. And I'm running through the enemy team here, spreading poison, spreading gas. I have Demonic and Rylai's. Pulling the Viego in. He can't move. He can't do anything. He's just unable to play the game. And then I run down the Rakan who ran over here. He tries to get away, but I'm just a little too fast. Pop the W, get the passive, get the kill, run him down. And then they are chasing down Lilia. Ornn lived, but they're chasing down Lilia. Over there, they're fighting. I'm like, I can't really help there. I can get down there fast enough, so I'm just gonna go over here and keep farming, get back in the game. They get the good burst on her, and she's dead because Senna is hitting her from 750 range away. You love to see it. Quite possibly the only stat that is as fun as movement speed is range. If I can just hit you before you can hit me, does it really matter how strong you are? If you can never touch me and I can touch you, you know what I mean? Wink, wink. So yeah, they're just running her down. My Senna is super fed. She has like 750 range, and she's only gonna get stronger because it's a support that is also an 80 carry. That is, yeah, whatever. Yeah. So here I decided to go for. I think I go for the Rift. Yeah, I go for the Rift Maker here. Or go for the Riftmaker components because they have an Ornn, so Ornn is a beefy frontline. They have Lilia, who is a semi-beefy frontline. They have Viego, who is building HP and running in. They have Viego, who is also a melee, who's going to be running in. He's not very beefy, but you know he does get a little tanky through healing. So this fight, what I'm trying to say is the fight's going to last a good bit. So big value off of Riftmaker, hopefully this game. Big value. Then we're just looking to push. I saw Callista around the corner there, and then Viego goes into stealth, so I don't want to walk up there, even though the wave is a little juicy. I'm gonna be walking up back here, looking for what I can. Now here's a big play. So Lilia is fighting Garen down bottom, and they're gonna be doing Baron, right? So I have two choices. I can go help him, or I can go help my team. I decided to go help the Garen because the Lilia being there means that jungling or Baroning is harder for them. But I run her down here after she kills Garen. She has a lot of damage here, by the way. I fling her out of her W. And just poison her until she dies. Big damage. I'm gonna rampage now, by the way, actually, after that horrendous early game. I want to rampage now. And my team gets kills at Baron. My team gets kills at Baron, and then we get Baron here. I said Lily is dead, take Baron. Then I'm just gonna push bottom. There's 4 dead. We shove, we push, we get even more fed, we get even stronger. And right now, at this point, their team's probably like, wow, what's happening? How is the Singe in a rampage? Well, here's the Ornn, by the way. The Ornn, for whatever reason, he manages to survive that fight and then just runs bottom to like make it so that I can't split push. The Ornn was just being, oh, he was so annoying this game. He's sweating for the proxy. He's getting ganks. He's getting help. He's just beating me up the entire game. But slowly, we're gonna get revenge. We're gonna get revenge this game for sure, which is satisfying. So yeah, here I wanted to farm the next wave too, but even then he's right there, and I only have 1.8k HP right now, so he could probably kill me. So we have to back off again. If I could have farmed that wave and then Krugs, I would have been able to sell my potion for Riftmaker and just complete it. But unfortunately, it's just not worth the risk if I didn't know where he was. Ends up he's going over to Wolves, but I just didn't know for sure where he was, right? So. Well, that's the thing. It would be super nice to have Riftmaker, especially versus that team comp, but couldn't get it unfortunately in time. It is what it is. So here we're just going to be shoving with Baron. I see Callista in mid. Gonna be very careful because she is super strong, but she is not the greatest champion versus double grounding, by the way, Cassio and Singed. it makes it hard for her to use her passive, because if she's grounded, she can't use her passive, which is like the entire champion. That skin that she has is really cool, by the way, because whenever you have Runon's Hurricane, it actually does her auto attack animation. Excuse me, on the Hurricane, instead of the Runon's animation, which is super cool looking, because her auto attack is like that blue and red spear, which is a super cool color scheme. Right here, Rakan, he has exposed himself. We Predator Ghost, ult at him. We're too fast. Pop plant. He gets rooted by Senna, and we just run him down, and he's the dead. He is the dead. And then I drift off of my team, running into the Lilia here, fling her in, and then she just melts and dies, and that's all she wrote. I mean, they're in a 3v5 now, and we have Baron, and we're pushing. You know, the late game Predator with this is your catch potential is quite high, which is really good. You can make game-winning catches just like that, which has always been the case with Predator, but the thing is, before it was also stronger early games. It is quite weak early game now, but it is what it is, right? Singe is a late game character anyways. Big W on the Callista here, and she just can't move. You absolutely love to see it, and then she gets ran down by the Greys. Notice how they're not flaming me anymore after I'm getting all these picks for them. You dirty dogs. You dirty dogs. And then we decided to start pushing towards bottom. My team wants to push towards the Nexus, actually, and I don't think that was a wise decision when we can just push bottom. But they do get a kill, which is good. Farming up Nexus plates. Or, sorry, not Nexus plates, what am I saying? Farming up Nexus minions. Getting some gold here. We got 2 inhibs, which is awesome. Nexus tower here. Big W on the Leah. Flinger in my team. Take a few extra tower shots there compared to what I'm used to, but my team gets some kills. Another tower there. Then have to actually back off a bit here. Back off a bit there. Then we're trying to heal off the minions here while Callista kills my team, and she's really strong here. But I put W on her and she can't move again, and then Senna runs her down. Viego's on the way, and that's all she wrote. So, hope you guys enjoyed that one. It was a bit of a banger, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later, boys.